This is the truth. They're hoping and doing all that they can convict Donald Trump of some crime, any crime, to try to undermine his support and therefore prevent what they fear most, a second Trump presidency. And there's a reason why they're so afraid of him, because he poses a threat to this establishment where they draw their power from. But when we take a step back and look beyond the personalities, look beyond Donald Trump and Joe Biden, what we're facing is a threat of far greater magnitude. A very dangerous precedent is being set. Our democratic republic is being destroyed by the permanent Washington elite, and there are people in both political parties who truly believe they and not the American people have the right to decide who should be our president. They easily and dangerously dismiss our Constitution, the rule of law, the voices of the American people, anointing themselves as the ones who have the power and justification to make this most important decision. Now, I've only mentioned a few of the many examples. I could write a whole book detailing all that's been done, all that the Democrat elite and Washington establishment have done and are doing to try to destroy Donald Trump and steal our election. As you know very well, President Trump has endured years of attacks. What we're seeing now is a continuation of something that began in 2016, ever since he came down that golden escalator. Now, I've met a lot of strong, tough people in my life. I can't think of a single one who could not only withstand all that going at Donald Trump without crumbling, but someone who would actually choose to keep fighting against the entire Washington establishment. Now, I've known Joe Biden for a long time. I used to consider him a friend. Do you think he could handle this pressure? I don't think so. I think even a fraction of this pressure and stress and attacks that Trump has endured would cause him to crumble. Now, if you listen to what Nikki Haley has been saying, she claims that President Trump only cares about himself and that he's doing all that he's doing only for himself. If that were the case, wouldn't he just walk away from all this? Walk away from the headaches and the attacks and the stress that he's enduring right now?
You know, when I was 18 years old, just a few years ago, I was inspired to register as a Republican by a man named Ronald. And thanks to a man named Donald, I was inspired to step into the political arena and run for office. He's inspired so many. Ronald and Donald, they may be a little bit different in tone, but Reagan and Trump were both the perfect man for the moment. I remember it vividly. I was just a kid when Jimmy Carter left America in an ash heap, and Ronald Reagan inherited that. But it was his calm optimism and, frankly, a little bit of humor. We always loved that brought us together as Americans and inspired us and reminded us that we could get through that difficult time if we stuck together. And then nearly 3 decades later, a man with golden hair came down a golden escalator, and he gave us another reminder. Donald Trump was exactly the man we needed in 2015, and he's exactly the man we need today for the job. Thank you. You guys are too kind. Thank you. You know, I like the bull in a china shop ideology. I like a strong man. We got way too many weaklings out there. How? Let me hear from the ladies out there. We're tired of the beta men. We want some alpha men. And we got a #1 alpha man in Donald J. Trump. I think we've got some pretty strong men in this room as well. And that's what is going to get us through this difficult time. You know, I don't really care if he pissed off the fake news. I really don't. Those mean tweets brought us world peace. They really did. And let's face it, these people, these people in the fake news, the propagandists, they are people like at the Washington Post. Remember, they are the same propagandists who called terrorists religious scholars, and they call parents domestic terrorists. These people are off their rocker. So I'll tell you, these guys, you guys back there, you lie about President Trump all the time. You have been on an 8-year mission to destroy the man who's fighting for us. 8-year mission. But the good news is, guys, I've got good news for you. Nobody is reading that garbage anymore. And they know it. They're feeling it. Have you noticed lately you're hearing about all of these layoffs in the fake news? Hundreds of people. Yeah. Listen, I want low unemployment numbers like we had with President Trump, but I'm okay if we have high unemployment in the fake news. Maybe you guys, once your fake news operations collapse, maybe you guys can go learn to code. Maybe they can learn to code. Under President Trump, we had a historic economy. We had law and order. We had a secure border, energy independence, world peace. Inflation was not an issue. Record low mortgage rates, record low unemployment. We were safe and secure, and we were prosperous under President Trump. And that safety and security has been destroyed in just a few years of Joe Biden and his destructive policies. As a mother, nothing disturbs me more than knowing that my beautiful state of Arizona is controlled by the narco-terrorist cartels. I don't like knowing that Arizona is the hub for human trafficking, child sex trafficking, and drug trafficking. It's frankly horrific. And I know you all see it, whatever state you're in, you are feeling the effects of this wide open border.
So we have a clear choice. I was one of the first people to endorse Donald J. Trump to be our next president. Last year, when everyone was asking me if I was going to consider running for president, I said no. Why would you run for president if you can't win? I didn't say that to be nice. I said it because it was a fact. No one we knew could beat Donald J. Trump. We've known that for over a year, that he's the only person who had the support to be the Republican nominee. So why did all these other people and candidates get into the race? For themselves? For personal benefit? For a spotlight for a period of time? But it did not and it does not strengthen our country if conservatives are not united enough to recognize that we need to win. We need a fighter. We need someone who doesn't give up, who has never quit on us, so don't you quit on him. President Trump, he broke politics in 2016. He just did. And I think that's a good thing because he's real. He's not perfect. None of us are. But he cares about you. And what I love about him the most is that he doesn't think he's better than you. So luckily, we are not going back to the good old days of the Romneys and the Cheneys and the Republican Party is much bigger than that now. We are filled with blue-collar workers, many cultures, perspectives, and viewpoints, but most importantly, we all love America. And we realize what a gift that this country is. This country is the greatest experiment in humankind. And if we lose it on our watch, where will we go? Where is there another country that is better or offers us more opportunity? It just doesn't exist. So for me, there is no going back. I'm all in. And you need to be too. We need to look for our leaders outside of the swamp. Nobody turns to D.C. for the solutions. Nothing meaningful gets accomplished here. It is governors who have had to lead. And I have seen governors make bad decisions and devastate their states, and we have seen governors who did the right thing. Now, as you know, for me personally, I slammed my foot on the gas. I promoted freedom, personal responsibility in our Constitution. And today, South Dakotans are happy. They're making more money, they're making decisions for their children's education, they're pursuing the American dream in safe communities. There's a famous quote from Margaret Thatcher where she said, "God needs no faint hearts for his ambassadors." Well, with your help, we can always do more. If America wants to be great again, I'd suggest you take a look at South Dakota and see all that we have achieved, and then vote for President Trump. I want to thank you for your dedication to freedom. You are inspirational. I want you to leave here and go be hopeful and be happy. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.